What is up, guys and gals? It's me, Thomas Fan01 here, and today we are back again with another Transformer figure review. And today we are going to be taking a look at something that I didn't even think was truly something that existed. And I'm going to be honest, I truly believe that. I truly believe that until this showed up in my local Walmart with the final waves of toys that they're getting from Hasbro of Transformers Rise of the Beasts Voyager class Optimus Primal. Now this is from the movie. This is the one. This is the mainline Optimus Primal. This is definitely not the Studio Series one, which is clearly the more superior version. The only reason I really truly picked this up was because, well, this never showed up at all. This never showed up in the United States. Like, I never once saw this show up. And it drove me up the wall that I never saw this, because for the longest time, I wanted this one. I wanted this one because this was the only Optimus Primal you could get a hold of at the time. The Studio Series one hadn't even been announced yet. So, this was in store, and I had to purchase it. I had to get it. So, anywho, we're going to be removing Optimus Primal here for a moment here, and we're going to be taking a look at the packaging. And the packaging is kind of like well, not even kind of, it is the Rise of the Beast mainline packaging here. You got the all-around shot of the movie-looking figure there, and then on the side here you got the Maximal symbol at the top here, the authentic. It is authentic. And then on the back here you have definitely miscolored shots. None of this is this color. So, and then on the side here you have Optimus Primal with his mouth open, and he's all of these things here. So, and then you go back to the front, and that's pretty much it. So, now we're going to take a look at the figure at hand. Now the figure at hand is a hunk of gray plastic. I'm not even gonna lie, they did not bother to paint much on this guy. And here's the sad part. Him and Optimus Prime are one of the two most painted Transformers out of the line. Now, I do not have my Optimus Prime at this current moment because I got rid of all of my mainline figures in favor of the Studio Series. Now, am I going to get rid of this one? Absolutely not. This is going to serve as my ape link. So, but I'm going to give them this. The detail that they molded into the plastic for this guy is not bad. I do like it. So, I mean, I do like the fact that they did have the nerve to paint the fur, or not paint, they molded in the fur. This is going to be in every Optimus Primal issue, so don't worry about the gappy feet and the, robot mode looking legs. So, I mean, all things considered, though, I'm not going to cry over this. I'm just a little bit miffed that they didn't give him as much love as I really feel like they should have. However, the love that he did get is better than some of the other figures got. So, anywho, let's get him into some scale comparisons. Oh, wait, hold on. I almost forgot. Before we get into scale comparisons, he does come with accessories. He comes with 2 swords. He comes with his Primal Ape swords. And they basically are just, they're not exact replicas because they definitely do not look at all like they do of the Kingdom one, but they're pretty close. I mean, they're pretty dang close. So, and I don't have my Kingdom one either. I sold that too. So, but they do attach in monkey mode. So there are 2 slots on the back of them here, and there are 2 tabs that are going to slide right on into those slots. And so you just do that on one side, and you do that on the other side, and there you have Primal with his swords. So, alright. Anywho, we're going to remove these for a moment, and we're going to get into scale comparisons. And all the scale comparisons are going to be Studio Series, so they are going to immediately look better than this guy right off the bat. So, anywho, here he is with the last Autobot Studio Series figure we did. Here he is with Studio Series Rise of the Beast Wheeljack. Quite possibly my least favorite of the Studio Series figures so far. Here he is next to Voyager class Studio Series Cheetor. Here he is next to Deluxe Class Predacon Scorponok. Truly interesting seeing these two side by side. Here he is next to Scourge. Please ignore the heater turning on. And finally, here he is next to Studio Series Leader Class Optimus Primal. And when we get this guy in robot mode, it's going to be a weird looking power trip. So, alrighty. So now that we've done that, we've gotten the accessories looked at, we've taken a look at him now in ape mode. Now we can get him into robot mode. And honestly, I like the transformation. The transformation for this guy was actually pretty genius. So to transform him, what you're going to do, we're going to work on the waist first. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to lift this butt flap up. And then you're going to take the legs and you're going to straighten them out like so. Straighten them out like so. Make sure everything stays put. And then it's time. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for the toothpick. So you're going to lift up those panels and then get your fingers on in there. And then you're going to flip out the foot and you're going to take the foot and you're going to splay it out open like so. Then you're going to take this and you're going to close it on up. And then do the same thing on the other side. Going to open this panel up. Going to flip out the foot. Open it up like so. Close up the panel. And we're pretty much done with the legs. Now we're going to rotate the waist. And then you can close this back up if you feel like you want to. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I choose to. And then you're going to straighten out the arms like so. Just straighten them out. And you're pretty much done with that. We're going to lower the head of the monkey. And this is kind of cool. I like this. I very much so like this. You're going to kind of pull this out. And then it's going to untab from itself. If I can get it to undo itself. There we go. You're going to pull it, push it forward. You're going to literally, it's super difficult to do, but you're going to push it forward and then literally splay it on open like so. Then you're going to take this and you're going to bring it down and lift it out like so. Then you're going to take this head section here, going to just push it all the way out and rotate it like so, and then push it back. Then you're going to take this monkey chest and close it back up like you did previously before without closing this up. And then there are two tabs down here that you're going to take this and you're going to line them up and just push them on in and just kind of make sure it all is fitting together. And then just straighten it all out like so. And hold on, let's get his weapons going here. Shove them all on in his hands, and there you have mainline Optimus Primal in his robot mode. And honestly, I'm going to be straightforward with you. If they were to release a Studio Series version of this guy, I feel like this is what it would have been like if they had just painted him a little bit more. But honestly, it's not the worst thing in the world. So let's take a good look at him here, and just take a look at him we shall. I mean, seriously, for a mainline Voyager for the movies, I mean, this ain't too bad. Like, honestly, if they were to have given us, like, say, for example, Rise of the Beasts was, like, Revenge of the Fallen or Dark of the Moon, I don't think it would have been. But if it was, I feel like this is what we would have gotten. And honestly, this would have sufficed for everybody. It would have sufficed until Studio Series was a thing. So, I'm not going to hate on this thing too much for that, but I am going to hate on it for one huge, massive thing here. And that huge, massive thing is, why couldn't y'all have painted this chest piece? Like, y'all literally bothered to paint the underside of him, but you didn't bother to paint the top side? Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. But, anywho, Oh, and the shoulder pads do apparently rotate on their own, so you can splay them out like that when you're not in monkey mode, and when you are in monkey mode, you are going to want to bring them all the way down. I apologize, he wasn't like that, but that's not my fault. He came out of box like that. So, anywho, now that we've taken a look at him like that, we're going to get him into some scale comparisons. Y'all know that it's time for that. So, anywho, here he is next to our last Autobot review. Here he is next to Pablo, or in my terms, here he's next to the next runner-up for Red Bull with a javelin. Here's next to Arizona's state insect. That's a lie. I have no idea what Arizona's state insect is. I didn't look it up for this video. I apologize. I just made the joke. Here's next to a dwarf who plays a tall guy. This is true. Peter Dinklage played him. And finally, here he is next to his Studio Series counterpart, Leader Primal. And like I said, he's going to serve as my Ape Link. He's going to stay my Primal. So. Now, final thoughts on this figure. Well, here's the thing. If I had gotten this figure right when it was released and announced and everything of that nature, I would not have these final words to say. I feel like it's too little too late, okay? And I say too little too late because, I mean, you could have seriously added some paint to this chest piece instead of having to literally have the underside of it be painted more than the top side. That's the part that's driving me up the wall for this figure. And the second thing is if you're also going to do that, why would you do it with the mask on? I mean, the Studio Series one didn't even give us that. I mean, seriously, look at that. Like, this thing has the mask, this one doesn't. And I don't understand why they did that. Honestly, I feel like if you're going to do something like that, give this guy the interchangeable mask instead of giving this guy the one that was screen used and this guy the one that was not screen used. So, I'm not saying this to be mean, but I feel like this figure was just... I feel like it's from a different... I feel like if this figure had come out maybe 5 or 6, maybe 7 years ago, I wouldn't be saying the words I'm about to say. It's a piece of shit. Like, it's an absolute piece of shit. Like, honestly. But, for the movie that it came out with, and if I had gotten it at an earlier time, I would probably be saying this is one of the better figures of the line. And I'm going to be straightforward, having messed with the majority of the figures from that line. This is pretty dang good. I'm not going to lie. Him and Optimus Prime are one of the better figures of the line. And honestly, though, another thing I must say is, I gotta say, clean backpack. I can't complain about this backpack. Not one bit am I going to complain about that backpack. Not one bit at all. But I am going to say, piece of shit. Just if you find this out in the wild, and you're gonna maybe buy it for like your kid brother Timmy or little Johnny, or maybe even if little Susie's a Transformer fan, get it for little Susie. But as a collector, finding this in 2024 instead of finding it in like maybe January, February, possibly March of 2023, I can't wrap my head around owning this figure very long. Well, I mean, it's going to serve as my Ape Link until the Studio Series 1 comes out. So, this, for now, will suffice. But, if I have to give it a ranked out number, I'm going to say... Transformation wasn't a pain in the ass, so that gets a positive there. The overall look of the figure isn't terrible. I mean, if it was more painted, I would appreciate it that way, but I can't be, beggars on this one's beggars on this figure cannot be choosers, but I am no beggar because I got the Studio Series version. So it's basically going to be a choosing situation, and I'm choosing that this guy is going to get a 5. A 5. Actually, no. I'm going to give it a 6. I'm going to give it a 6 for that clean backpack, the transformation, and I'm also going to say that monkey head doesn't look bad. I do like the detailing on that. I'm just not a fan of the fact that it's the monkey head and not, the rest of the robot. So, anywho, those are my final thoughts on this figure. And this is Thomas Fan 01 saying, do not forget to check out Planet Toys, a world built by collectors, where if you do sign up with them, you can get yourself 10% off. And we will be going to we will be doing a flea market / Comic-Con or something of that nature. So if you would like to come check us out at our booth there, then you can. So, anywho, this is Thomas Fan 01 saying, do not forget to check out Optination Reviews. Do not forget to check out Beastman Reviews, Riveted Reviews, Jordy's Rail Videos, Patrick with the Y, iStar552, Bravely GG, and Take Along Productions, as I know they all do some amazing work and have had some amazing projects in the pipeline. So, anywho, this is Thomas Fan 01 saying, do not forget to keep playing with your toys. Goodbye.